Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is Sunday, as per usual. Um, and I'm here with my new video. Good morning. How was everybody's week? Awesome, that's really good to hear. So we don't have any haul this week, but I've got lots of WIP updates. I've got homework from Magical Stitches. Pretty sure there's some Q&A. And so we're just going to dive right on in. Without further ado, we'll start with the good old Q&A. You're welcome to everyone who enjoyed the Krynic tutorial. Glad I was able to assist. Melissa Johnson wants to know, is there a prize involved with your Magical Stitches and Literature Challenge? You're always saying you get points for completing different parts. I don't think there's a prize other than, like, bragging rights. It's a little bit like, whose line is it anyway? The points don't count. So at the end, yes, there is going to be a clear winner, like a house is going to be the clear winner, but it's not anything truly substantial. So, like, no one's going to get, like, a pattern or something, or at least as far as I know, it's not. But it's mostly just for fun and the thrill of competition. Dee Dee Rose says, I love the look of that crazy moon in your Halloween piece. That whole project looks like a fun stitch. What is it called? Who is the designer? It is Great Cheshire Moon by Tempting Tangles. It started out as a Sal a couple of years ago, but the full thing is available through her Etsy shop. And I believe, and I may be wrong here, so don't hate me if I am. I know some of her paper patterns are available through Red Poppy, and I know she prints some of her own. So I believe it is available both PDF and hard copy. Novice Stitcher asks, why are we moving in the first place? We just needed a bigger space. Patricia Kasmerick has a couple of questions. She says, thanks for the great explanation of Krynic. I noticed that the examples you pulled out of your box were wound on floss cards. Do you do that for all the new ones you get as part of your nest egg, or do you wind them once you start using them on a piece? I've always kept mine on the spool, but I'm wondering if floss cards would be better. The reason I used to not, I used to keep them on the spools, but I found if I don't finish a length, that trying to rewind it on the spool was not worth it. So that's why I floss card them. Theoretically, I would be winding them on floss cards as they come in. However, I'm a little behind. So a lot of the times on nights when I don't want to stitch, or like when I'm sick and I don't feel good and I can't concentrate on it, that's when I do a lot of like my bobbin and winding and thread organization. So, and then obviously if I need it for a project, then I'll do it then. So if that sort of answers your question. I try to get them all on bobbins first. Desera Price, can you get Karen water lilies in a nest egg? I believe you can. But since that was low on my list of projects of designs that I desperately needed, I don't know for sure. And that looks like that's all of the Q&A for the week. Alright, so This week's homework was to do 500 stitches apiece on either your number 1, number 2, or number 12 project. So you had to pick 2 of the 3. I didn't want to work on my number 2, so I picked 1 and 12. Which in this case was, number 1 is with the needle. And number 1 doesn't mean like it's my favorite, it's just when I wrote out my list, it was the first one I listed. So it's With Thy Needle by Lilas Studios, which is one I really enjoy, and it gets used a lot for like the 200 stitches and 100 stitches. So this was the first time I actually really got to sit and stitch on it. And I really enjoyed it. So here's where I got. So it was 500 stitches, so that was the cow. The top cow has some unintentional alterations. And there's the bottom cow, and then I finished out the sheep. And then it's a little hard to tell, but I worked on border parts as well. So this is on Rose Merta from Under the Sea Fabrics. So I'm looking forward to getting to pull this one back out again. Right. Then my number 13, or my number 12 project was Sarah Davis. So I got 577, I think, on With Thy Needle. This one was like 800 something total, but I did another border row and a row of letters. So I used Endive and Dark Violet from Color and Cotton. So I finally got some green on there. And I think the next time I work on this, we're going to see some yellow. I'm going to have to drop and do some border work, too. But here it is. So we officially basically have it's like 3 pages that are done. So, because there's basically this little bit here that's on its own page, so it's like 3 pages across and 1 down. So this is 1 full page lengthwise and 3 pages widthwise. So and I'm looking forward to seeing this one finished, because I'm going to have some fun with that one for a frame. So I got that done did that Monday through Friday. So that meant that yesterday, before the next part of Emerald City came out, I had a little bit of time to kill. So I decided I would go back to things that I had worked on that I hadn't reached a full goal on. So one of them, I didn't get it finished in time for homework last week, so I got out Corner of the Heart of the Earth, and I finished up that part, which didn't take very long. So now parts 1, 2, 3, and 5 and 6 are done. And this is on Autumn Joblin from Under the Sea Fabrics. And then after that, I got out Nutcracker from Soda Stitch and did the back stitching on her and the floor as well. So that way I could do her back stitch. And then I actually used a Kreinik called Curry to outline the Nutcracker's Palace. So, and this is on Christmas in Williamsburg by Under the Sea Fabrics, with its gold opal, which I liked because it looks sort of gingerbready, and then it was sparkly like Christmas. And then, and I'll show it to you later, but I had a little bit of frog on my Hufflepuff floral crest, so I did that little bit of frogging. And then I started on, and I didn't get very far yesterday. There was some stuff that came up. So I started in on Emerald City's next part. So here's one start of the tower. And for the Emerald City, I'm using Mint Julep, Green, and Emerald by Krynic. So there that is. So that's what I'm going to keep working on today. Hopefully I will finish that part today. That way I can start in on the next homework, which is Professor Umbridge. Or as most people refer to her, bitch, because she's awful. Awful. Like, somehow J.K. Rowling looked into the future and found Betsy DeVos and made her even more evil. And she's played brilliantly by Imelda Staunton in the films. And in fact, that's one of the best casting decisions I think the film made. So we're supposed to do 200 stitches, I believe. Yes, 200 stitches per project. And then the penalty stitches are 400 stitches on whatever you're replacing that option with. So, with that in mind, they are the color pink, tea or teacups, kittens, a design that starts with one letter from the word rules, and a designer that starts with one letter from the word strict. So, for the color pink, you can probably all guess which one that's going to be because it's my big pink project. I'm going to be doing 200 stitches on Aurora by Brooks Books. So, there's that. Most likely as well, I'll be doing 400 on her to make up for the tea, because I'd like to kind of try and finish this section here. I don't have one for tea or teacups, so really any of these could end up getting an extra round of stitching. For kittens, I will be doing, because it's the only one I've got that's got cats on it, I'll be doing Great Cheshire Moon. So I'm gonna redo. So I've got to add to my little beware sign, and then I'll start in on the house, which is exciting. So, and this one's from Tempting Tangles. And I believe it's on Silvery Moon from Ship's Manor. I think that's what it's called. Yes, Silvery Moon. Alright. Then I've actually got two options for design that starts with one letter from the word rules. So I'm either going to work on Strawberry Fields from Blackbird Designs. Because I've got a lot more to go on that. It hasn't been touched since I started it. Or I'll work on Search the Sky from Waxing Moon Designs. So there's the design. So all I've got are two trees and the words. So it needs some attention too. And I'm sad that it doesn't photograph very well, because you really can read the backstitching very well in person. But it just, well, there it sort of shows up now. So. So working my way on that one. That one's going to be one of those designs that I have a feeling once it's not going to take too long to finish. And then for a designer that starts with one letter from the word strict, so I'm doing my Hufflepuff wreath. because it's designed by Cross Stitch For You. So, and I'm either going to go up or I'm going to go under. I'm not sure which. I'll do one or the other is going to be what happens. So, I also did end up making the transfer to Hufflepuff. So I'm now officially over there. Haha, see, look, I'm wearing my Hufflepuff shirt. So, like I said, I'm not sure which of these is going to be my, my penalty stitch project, but nothing I had teacups in it. So, and I didn't want to, at least nothing that I had kitted and already started, or kitted and hadn't started. Because I do have a couple of the Tempting Tangles tea and coffee designs, but I don't have them kitted up, so I wasn't going to try that. So, anyhow, that's kind of it for me. I hope everyone has a terrific week. There will probably be a video next week, but the week after, I really don't know. So if there's not one, don't worry, I'm okay, nothing's wrong. I will be back once the dust has settled. And I hope everyone has a great week, or weeks if I don't see y'all.